he handled it great.
Yeah.
But there definitely were conversations that we had to have regarding trust and love, and eventually we figured it out. The hardest part was that my husband was almost like a single dad after this whole experience started, because he's like Mr. Mom. He has 2 children at home, and he never sees me. I see my children when they were sleeping. So it was definitely a big wake-up call for him and for our marriage. But it was good. I wouldn't have had it any other way. I think that like he handled it in the best way possible. I have to ask, what about you?
Well, I was just going to offer it for you because I wouldn't leave you hanging and say, oh, well, thank you for sharing and being so honest. I'm just going to move on to my next question. No, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. And luckily, Kevin handled it really, really well as well. It's an experience and it's a journey.
Right.
And at the end of the day, they do have to trust us.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could, because I know women can keep it together a lot easier than men do, because you guys have an external organ, Sean, Nick, you know what I'm talking about. But it is like I always say, it's like our privates are smushed together for 8 hours a day. And we're grinding on each other for 8 hours a day.
Right.
And we're having fun with each other. And we're laughing. And there's a connection that has to be there.
Yeah.
Chemical reaction.
There is reactions, whether you want it or not.
Definitely.
And you could have been completely not attracted to somebody and then all of a sudden be attracted to them and be so confused through the whole process. So, yeah, everybody I talk to always, if they're honest, will say, yes, it was really hard because it is confusing. And it's also like there's somebody who's mentoring you through a process that you're scared, and it's a thing. It just happens.
Totally. And Sasha would always, ask like, how are things with your husband? I'm like, they're fine, because I just don't want to get him involved with the whole what we may have been going through in our home life. It was definitely not the easiest. You know what's interesting is I feel like a lot, like dancing never covers that. Dancing with the Stars never covers like what is actually happening in your. I mean, I guess how much time do we have? It's a dancing show. It's not a marriage show. But those stories that happen, like your life that's happening, coinciding with Dancing with the Stars, is so crazy, and like it takes a lot of trust, and it takes a lot of this is only for a certain amount of time, and this is not my life forever. And that's what I kept, telling him, look, this is only a seasonal thing. This isn't a forever thing. So I know you're not loving being a single dad right now. And the fact that I'm never home. And when I am, like, I don't know if you were tired.
Whoa, hold on. That's the craziest question ever. I
was so tired.
No. Tired there isn't even a word for it. I got 3 hours of sleep a night, max.
Maybe. Yeah.
Max.
Exactly. Well, I was still breastfeeding in the middle, like
I can't
in the middle of rehearsals. I was like zzz, 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 with my pump.
I was going to ask you, how did you pull off breastfeeding while you were doing this?
Oh, it was a mess. And my poor son, like I would fall asleep with him in the bed with me, and my husband would wake me up. He's like, I don't know how you can sleep through this. And I'll wake up and my son is just like, ah! And I'm not that. I'm usually that mom will totally wake up when my son or when any of my children are crying. But I was so tired that I could sleep through a freight train coming through my house, and including my son like screaming on the top of his lungs, like wanting to be fed. But my husband was like, wake up. So we had a lot of moments like that. It was just sleepless nights, but totally worth it.